Picture it, Los Angeles, 2025.
Welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only dramatic pause Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines.
I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we're doing a Beyond Golden Girls episode where we cover the many film and TV projects that the women did outside of the Golden Girls during the course of their illustrious careers. And today we are diving into something that up until last weekend, we didn't even know existed.
It was during our live watch that someone recommended we watch this, and I don't know if it was Trey or I don't know who
Brandy.
it was in the live. Brandy. Like Brandy, when Brandy suggested this, I literally was, and I before I don't well, everyone knows what it is, but like you and I know everything pretty much that the girls have done, and it's rare to hear someone to suggest something to us that we don't know about, and this I had no idea about.
No idea. Brandy just drops this in the GGVIP Club watch-along party that Rue McClanahan appeared on a 2009 episode of Celebrity Ghost Stories and that we had to watch it. And holy shit, Brandy, we just watched it.
And so, yes, and I knew immediately I had to watch it. But you had suggested that we use this for a Rusty Anchor happy hour. And I was like, no. This is too good. I don't care that it's only 9 minutes. This is too good not to put on the main feed.
You were right.
This is just so juicy. And you pulled some clips, but there's one extra clip that I pulled as well.
Great.
After all of yours. Just because it is so like spooky, but Rue McClanahan-y spooky, not quite spooky because it's also kind of dumb, but it's also like campy. It fits every box.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Well, and, you know that Pride is spooky to me sometimes because I hate being outside in the heat, and that is a horror show for me. Me outside at a Pride event during the summertime is actually a horror show.
The hot
in many
streets,
ways.
the hot sidewalks of WeHo. Yeah, that's stressful even for me to think about.
Never. So I'm excited for this.
I'm also very excited. This, like the tone of this show, it was giving me Rescue 911,
Yes.
Unsolved Mysteries with those reenactments that are always like a little blurry, and then like the creepy, eerie, like Are You Afraid of the Dark music. And
the actors that they cast to play young Rue and older Rue, they didn't even try to make them look like her.
No, they didn't. I was confused at first too. I was like, wait, are those actual pictures of Rue? And then I was like, oh, very quickly, no, that's not a real photo of her. Got it.
No. Yeah. When there's not like, there's a million different photos of her that they could have chosen. There's so many things they could have done. They could have called up any of the people that have played Rue McClanahan's daughter in a number of projects, and that person could have played young Rue. Sean Sheps was available.
I also wonder, because they also, so I won't spoil it yet for who Rue talks about, but the person in Rue's life who had passed away, who she had an encounter with, a posthumous encounter. They also didn't show any photos of that person.
Yeah, which
in real life. So I was like, I don't know if that was like a privacy thing or.
Probably. But what I love is that Rue speaks of this thing as if it's just like, wasn't that sweet? It was just the sweetest little visit I've ever had. Whereas like, I'm watching it being like, Rue, this is terrifying. This is actually terrifying. So that means Rue's fear level was low.
Okay, obviously we have a lot to talk about with Celebrity Ghost Stories with Rue McClanahan. But before we get into it, we have to talk about the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. HAlanScott.
I'm sorry. You told me not to address it, but then you said we have a lot to get through with Celebrity Ghost Stories, and like a ghost, you just morphed through your home.
For anybody who's watching the video version, we were having technical difficulties because I was recording from the roof and there's no Wi-Fi up there.
I feel like we should just do that throughout the episode, where like we just magically switch spots, like switch locations and homes, and just not say anything. Which you
may do that if you please.
Yeah, no.
I do vow to, but I
do
don't
vow
want to because I have to haul all this shit everywhere.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
my lights and my mics and my wires and my computer and so much stuff.
Yeah,
So, and I'm
no.
lazy.
I feel you. Me too.
So, yeah, but you can, if you do look behind me, you can see little Oreo. We've got if you're watching the video version, we've got an easel and she has magnets of all the planets up.
Oh,
So it's a little
fun.
educational as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
She loves
Very cool.
planets.
Anyway, sorry. You were saying I cut you off.
Oh, well, you cut me off. I had thrown it to you to set up
Oh.
what we're doing
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour over at the GGVIP Club on Patreon this week.
Well, because it is Pride, happy Pride to everybody. And last year we did like a whole month of Pride, which we're still going to do Pride. And we're doing Pride over on the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. And we're going to do some Pride this month too, I'm sure. But I'm gay enough. It's Pride 365 over here. Do we need to do Pride all the time? Yes, we do. Pride's important. But over on the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, we're doing a Pride-ish themed episode insofar as I love fashion and the girls being campy and silly and wearing fun outfits. So I thought, because we're doing bi-weekly episodes, I figured the 2 episodes, I think it's 2 episodes of Rusty Anchor Happy Hour we're doing this month will be dedicated to the girls' fashion. This week's episode is Rue McClanahan and Betty White, and it's both the campiest / whatever looks from the show, and then also the campiest looks from their real life, like from them in real life, either from a project or from an award show or from whatever it is. And so we each have brought our own looks that we both think, and we're going to cover those on the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. So tonight is tonight, as if like you're all listening right now at nighttime, but on this week's version, where we're doing Betty White and Rue McClanahan.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. I can't wait to see the looks that you picked. And you guys can check it out over at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast, where you can sign up for as little as $5 a month, or you can sign up for $8 a month, which means you get to join our monthly Golden Girls Live watch-along parties. We just had one last weekend. We watched Yes, We Have No Havanas.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
And that's why we are watching this episode, or we're doing this episode this week.
And that's why we're watching it, because we all chat during it and we get ideas for future episodes from the GGVIP Club. We love it. So
love it.
Yeah, Brandy, thank you again. This was a trip.
I mean, truly a trip. Before we get into this episode, though, I do need to address an emotional thing that I've been dealing with.
Yes, of course.
And it's something that's been going on since March. I've been following a live stream of these Eagles. They and
like my Philadelphia Eagles team?
No, I don't believe so. Although if that was in the locker room, I'd follow that.
You're so Blanche right now.
But I mean, also not a lie. But I think it's Big Bear. I forget exactly where it is, but they have some society, some like animal preservation group or whatever, has a live camera on a very large nest of eagles, a couple here in California. And they had little eaglets back in March, and it's been a big story here in California. And I don't know why. I think when the Eagles were born at a time, something was going on with us. I don't know what, or with me. I don't know if I was depressed or something, but I became very invested in these Eagles and the safety of these Eagles. And so when 3 of them were born initially, and then one sadly died because 2 were born one day, and then the other one was born like a day later or something. So it was weaker and it died sadly. But these 2 Eagles have like been caring for these eaglets since the beginning of March. And we've all been like patiently waiting. Myself, a past guest of the podcast, Grace Helbig, and I have been messaging about this a lot. And about when these eaglets are going to fledge and leave the nest. And we've been this week, like around this time is when they start to do it. And I have learned so much about eaglets over the past couple of weeks. And like the process, because I don't know if I was emotionally ready for one to leave, but today, as we're recording, one left the nest on June 2nd. And I showed Kerri the video. It's a beautiful video where he's sort of perched on a branch and he spreads his wings. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. We won't know that yet. But like they spread their wings really far out and then they catch a gust of wind and then they go. And that little eaglet flew, and they've spotted the eaglet on a lower branch of the tree that the nest exists in, which is pretty typical for eaglets, is that they stay near the nest for I think another like 10 weeks, and I think they even still get fed. Like they still go back to the nest for food and stuff because the parents bring back the fish and everything. I've watched them eat, I've watched them fight, I watched one of the kids poop in the mom's face. I've watched so many things happen, and literally my days consist of, I start my days with the news and then I switch over to the eagle video and I have that on the background all the time when I have to do work things or like write or whatever, and I'm checking on it constantly, and today was a very big day for me.
I love that you are sort of enamored with essentially what's like newborn and infancy. Like you're saying things like a baby pooping on a mom's face. I was like, yup. Like all these things that you're saying, I'm like, yup, it makes sense.
It's cuter when a bird does it though.
Sure. When the bird flew away, did you turn to Michael and go, well, that looks like an empty nest? Worst episode of the Golden Girls.
No.
Did you make an empty nest joke?
No, I didn't, because I was too emotional. I immediately was like, Michael, come quick, the birds. It
would have been, I thought when you were exclaiming Michael that you had like named the eaglet Michael. Because, you know, there is that episode where Dorothy has to like nudge Michael out of the nest when he comes home and stands being a shitty dad.
Well, they did name, people have named, I think it's Sunny and Shadow, I think are their names. And Sunny.
Sunny and Shadow? You're telling me it's Sunny and a sh word and it's not share?
No, I know. I don't know why they.
How?
I don't know. I think they were aware of how many people would make jokes of that, and so they decided to keep it just simple and just have.
So they
Shadow.
started. They were like, and we've named the birds Sunny and
or maybe
and
they
then
named
Shadow because they looked around and suddenly got self-conscious.
I don't think Sunny Bono was in their minds when they named it Sunny, because it's Sunny, Sunny.
Okay, but they have to understand the optics of when you hear the words, it's Sunny and Shad.
I don't think most people hear the word
Cher.
Sunny and think Sunny Bono. I think that might be only Golden Girls people.
But when
and big
people
Cher
hear
fans.
the words Sunny and,
yes,
they're
I
gonna,
get that.
and especially when they hear Sunny and they're gonna think Cher.
No, I get that, but yeah, it was. I think
fine. They probably don't spend a lot of money on PR. I hope they spend more money on eagle doctors and stuff.
They don't. There's no eagle doctors that are visiting the nest, but I do think that Shadow they named Shadow because there's one of the birds that was like more reserved and more like it wouldn't be aggressive in getting food, and it would sort of just like wait its turn, and of course you're not going to survive by waiting your turn. So it's had to learn how to be more aggressive. And
it was like a real aggressive. Ashley Simpson living in the shadow.
But it was so interesting watching the other bird who was left in the tree to watch as like their sibling just sort of fly off and be like, okay, bye. Like,
when do you think the other eaglet will start flying? What happened to my voice just now?
I think soon. Because,
probably.
Yeah, because like after, I don't know.
If the eaglets are anything like my Philadelphia Eagles, are going to be very competitive. And the other one's going to fly, and then they'll both be in the nest, and one's going to do a tush push and push the other one out.
Tush push. Wow.
Remember the tush push?
Yes.
Do you know that in the NFL, there were teams and coaches that wanted to get that banned because the Eagles are the only team that's successfully been able to do the tush push? Other people have tried to do the brotherly shove. Nobody can. They all voted. And guess what? It's still legal. It's still legal for the Eagles to do the brotherly shove.
Not gay at all. Not
gay at all.
Happy Pride.
Not gay at all.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Okay.
Should we get to the episode?
Yes. I cannot wait.
Do it.
And we are back talking about Rue McClanahan's 2009 appearance on an episode of Celebrity Ghost Stories.
Wait, before we get to Celebrity Ghost Stories, I do need to ask you.
We just said we were going to get into it.
I know, but
what is happening?
I was saving the ghost question for the ghost segment.
Well, can I first just mention what Celebrity Ghost Stories is before we get into the episode?
Please.
So this is a show so they interview different celebrities who talk about paranormal events that have happened in their lives. This is a documentary series. If you look at the list of guests that they had on this show, Joan Rivers, Carrie Fisher, John Waters, and I think Carrie Fisher and John Waters were in the Rue McClanahan episode.
Yeah. It was a big episode.
Debbie Mazar, Daryl Hannah, Nene Leakes, over 100 celebrities have appeared on this show. This show, it's like died and come back to life, like one of the ghosts in the episodes. Over 6 seasons of this show. It was on 3 different networks from 2009 to 2020. Seasons 1 through 4, it was on the Biography channel. Season 5, it was on Lifetime. Totally makes sense. And then season 6, it was on A&E. And Rue appeared in a season 1 episode, season 1, episode 3. You can watch it on YouTube. We'll link it in the show notes. But that's sort of the overall of the show. It's very
I think it's actually just the season 1 thing. I was noticing some inconsistencies with the seasons things. I think it's a Lifetime season 1. It's not actually season 1 of the show. Because listed, I know it's all because it's switched networks. There's really the confusion over season 1 is all over the place. Because if you look on IMDb, season 1, episode 3 of this does not include Rue McClanahan. So it's all over the place. So the Lifetime version, I believe, is the one that Rue McClanahan was on, and it is 1 season, I think, of this show on Lifetime.
Okay, well, it had to have been in 2009 because that's when she filmed this.
Yeah.
Okay, that I just wanted to set up what the show was. Now, would you like to ask your ghost question?
Well, because we're going to be listening to Rue's ghost story. Have you ever been visited by a ghost, or do you believe that you have a ghost near you at any point?
It's so funny that we're recording this episode today. So today we're recording June 2nd, and it's actually the birthday of my high school friend, Matt, who passed away when we were in high school in a car accident. And I've never had any kind of haunting story, but I remember once this was maybe a couple years after he had passed away. And I would talk to him in my car sometimes. And I was driving my little 1993 teal Ford Tempo down in Savannah, Georgia. And I was driving down Abercorn Street. And I was talking to Matt in my car. And I said, hey, if you can hear me, can you just give me some sort of sign? And the next thing I knew, this Jeep pulled out in front of me, cut me off. I kind of had to slam on my brakes so I wouldn't hit it. And I noticed the license plate. It was like a couple of numbers, MM, and a couple of numbers. And his initials were MM. And right at that moment, I'll be missing you. By a certain singer who I'm not going to mention on this podcast, and some other people I think Faith Evans.
Yeah. That one.
Anyway, it was the cover of the Sting song. Anyway, and then I'll Be Missing You came on, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. That's gotta be you, right? So that's the closest thing. Also though, no, wait, I take this back. There's one more. So about a year after he died, before I moved to Georgia, I went to see a psychic. I went to a psychic fair with my friends Michelle and it was just Michelle and our English teacher and our theater teacher, Wendy, who was awesome. We loved Wendy. We were friends with Wendy.
Cool.
And I was out of high school.
Okay.
So we went to a psychic fair and I sat down with a medium named Joan.
Is it a psychic where there are just many psychics in booths at a fair? Well, I don't understand.
Oh, they weren't even in booths. It was at like a rec center, and they were just like
on
card tables, and you would just pick a psychic and you would go to the psychic. Oh. So it was a woman named Joan, and she gave me her card, and she lived on Tispaquin Street. I don't know why I remember all these details. Anyway, she was like, do you mind if I finish my lunch? I was like, sure. So I just sat there waiting. And
see, now if you were me and she asked you that question, I would have been like, what do you think I'm going to say?
Well, she was a medium,
Oh,
so she communicated with people who had passed.
I think
And
mediums
she
are
said,
lazy psychics, but whatever. Please go on.
okay.
Yeah.
So she said, you can ask me any questions at any point. She was like, I can try to connect with someone. So I just asked her, I just said, how's Matt? That's the only thing I said. And I won't get into all of it, but she knew so much stuff. And I know
Oh.
I am very on the fence about psychics. Sometimes I think they're grifters. But and I also know that sometimes people fill in the blanks. Memory isn't always the best thing. But I even had Wendy was like standing nearby and like reiterated to me a lot of what I had heard. But she knew like wild stuff. Like she was like,
Social security numbers.
yeah, no, she was like, you graduated high school recently? I was like, yeah. She goes, when you were graduating, she goes, your graduation cap, did it keep like falling? Like, were you having a hard time keeping your graduation cap on? I was like, yes. I was like, it wouldn't stay on. And I was like, and she goes, he was laughing the whole time. Stuff like that. Like my boyfriend at the time was his best friend. And she was like, your boyfriend, she goes, there's something wrong with his car right now. And I was like, yeah, every time he turns, it makes like a weird noise. She's like, yeah, he's telling him to get it fixed. That's really annoying. And I was like, it is annoying. She knew stuff like me and a friend had like hidden his closet and found he used to collect Wheaties cereal boxes. She goes, I'm seeing you and another girl and you're in a closet and there's cereal boxes. Does that make sense? And I was like, yes. So she knew a lot of like,
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, that's it. But never an encounter with like lights flickering. I've told everybody who dies, I'm like, don't you ever haunt me, even if it's the middle of the daytime. If you show up, I will throw up and pass out. I don't want anybody haunting me. Visit me in my dreams. And people have visited me in my dreams, but yeah, no thank you. I don't want you fucking with electricity. I don't want you appearing. But anyway, it's just it's just wild that we're recording this birthday and this episode, it happens to be Matt's birthday. And I always told him I would remember him on his birthday. So I'm just going to say to everyone to happy birthday to Matt. And I have a little tattoo with his name on my back. So I'll just give a little
That's
pat.
lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I love that. I don't know if I believe in ghosts, although I am friends with a ghost. Asher Grodman, who's on the CBS sitcom Ghost.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ever hear of Demi Moore? I guess she wasn't dead in that movie.
I'm not friends with her. I'm friends with Asher. He's the one who doesn't wear pants on the Ghost show. But no, I don't. Here's the thing. Now, I always say that I can't be haunted because I'm not afraid. Like I don't fear.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care about, like, I'm not scared of being haunted. I'm not scared of a ghost. I'm not scared of any of those things. And so I don't necessarily, that's why I don't think they ever come to me. But I also think they also know, I think deep down, I just don't believe in any of it. I don't think about the afterlife or like, I don't think about those things. It's just not something that in my rational brain, it doesn't really compute. And so I think very logically in terms of like what happens after we die. And it just doesn't. So I think maybe that's why but here's the thing. I am not cynical enough to not think it's not possible or that it doesn't exist. Like I'm a person that like, I don't rationally, intellectually think it's possible for these things to happen, for ghosts to exist, that there's an afterlife, any of those kind of things. That I don't believe in. I do believe in karma though. But I I don't rationally think any of like whatever, but I'm also willing to be like, when I die and then like someone's like, oh, you got to stick around for a bit and take care of business, I'm going to be like, okay, I was wrong. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you're open to it.
Yeah, no, I'll do what you need me to do to get into the good place or whatever. Like, cool, good. But like, yeah, no. But right now I'm just sort of like, so that's why no one will come to me. No ghost will come to me.
Well, should you and I now come up with something the way that, and we'll see in a minute when we watch some of these clips, that like Rue and her friend, they kind of like came up with an idea of like, okay, hey, if you pass, this is how I want you to contact me.
Oh, yeah.
So let's come up with something where it's like, there's no way it could be a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, oh, whenever you hear rain, it's me. Like, it's gonna rain. Like, what's something that would be so wild to see?
Yeah.
That would have to be. Okay, I got it. All right. So if you ever see a
Wait,
woman.
let's save it for the end of the episode. Let's
Okay.
let's actually think on it, because I think we can actually come up with some good things. Let's go through Rue's experience, and then we'll end with when one of us dies, that's how we're going to communicate to each other.
Great. Well, why don't we just start with the first clip, which is the very beginning of Rue's segment. Like you said, I think it's only like 9 minutes, but we got a lot of clips here.
Well,
and,
I also want to say, if you are listening to this, I would encourage you, just for my own sake, to watch some of this, because it is really, the editing and seeing Rue in this situation is actually kind of incredible. And there's a moment, a clip of a show very at the end of the episode, that is one of my favorite Rue moments ever. It's become it because of what she does visually. So you're gonna.
And we should also say, I mean, I think this is a given, but this episode, these clips, it's about death and grief. So, like,
yes,
if
that's you don't
be in the mindset to maybe listen. Rue does get a little emotional, so decide if this is an episode you want to listen to today.
Exactly. But yeah, first clip. Should I play it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I met Rill when I was 10 years old, as was he, 4th grade. And we stayed friends all his life. We had a very special relationship. We had been through thick and thin with each other. A friendship like that just doesn't break.
Do you have a friendship like that?
With you.
That's sweet. Thick and thin. That friendship like that, it just doesn't break. It doesn't break.
Doesn't break. I also think to say the names Rue and Rill. I mean, like they go so well together. Rue and Rill.
Perfect name. Like Rill. I don't know. It's a perfect name for a person.
Mm-hmm. So Rue explains that her and Rill, they stayed friends all throughout childhood, through college. Then they picked up a friend named Christine or Christina during college, but that the two of them were thick as thieves. He was there beside her through all of her marriages.
I love that she just casually says all of my marriages, and there's no joke behind it. It is literally just a reality. Yeah, I've been married a bunch of times.
I've been married a bunch of times, and this was my friend who was always there to help me get through it.
And you know what? That's those kind of friends are the coolest kind of people, because they're with you. They've seen you in so many iterations of your life. They've seen so many different versions of you that the joke pile is massive, because you can really dig deep. Remember your third husband? There are just so many things that you. That's also brave too. If you keep a friend like that, if you keep a friend in your life that's been with you for every husband, and then that friend can say in front of a new husband, well, I remember your last husband. I mean, that friend holds a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's also the type of friendship where I feel like you could just stop by unannounced. Yes. You know what I mean? You don't need to call. You can just show up.
Yes.
That's a great kind of friendship. Why would I? You don't even you live so far.
Yeah. Don't do that with me. Don't do it with me. I mean, I would graciously welcome anybody. I would graciously welcome you to come, but really only you and maybe a handful of other people. Not even a handful, 2 other people.
The only way I would ever just show up unannounced would be if my car broke down and my phone was dead and I was lost, and I was like, okay, I think I can find my way to Allen and Michael's place. And I would just be buzzing I'd press all the buttons to try to find you. That would be it. So then Rue explains that a few years earlier, so they're filming this in 2009, a few years earlier, Rill was diagnosed with a disease called PSP, progressive supranuclear palsy. And also, if you think about it, because when she said they had been friends since they were kids and he had only gotten sick a few years earlier, I was like, okay, well, how long had they been friends at this point when he got sick? So Rue was born in 1934. Let's say they were the same age, which means they became friends in 1944. And if he got sick in 2005, 2006, they're friends for over 60 years.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
Can you imagine?
I can't imagine it. And
can you imagine
incredible.
You and me in 40 years being we've been friends for 60? Wait, no.
Yes.
No, because we haven't known each other since we were born. I was just trying to make us sound young. I'm bad at math.
I mean, long time.
Long time.
Yes.
So now he's sick.
Yeah.
And we have this moment where Rue is coming to terms with the fact that he is going to pass away. So that's what this clip is. This one got me. I'm just telling everybody now, giving everybody the heads up. Like, I teared up when I saw this clip. So if anybody else is going to cry, cry.
I didn't really believe in an afterlife, and neither did he, and neither did Christina. But one day when he and I were alone together, he could no longer talk, but he was alert. And I was holding his hand, but I just couldn't let him go. And I asked him, I said, just for fun, after you pass over, would you try to contact me? If there's any way. Get me a message.
It's actually kind of like a great plan because if let's say, God forbid, something happens to one of us and we know the end is coming, which I hope to not know. I hope to just go. But we get to a point where we know that, and to be able to have, and I would hope that if I was in that situation, I would have the emotional clarity to be able to have a funny, open conversation with my friend about, okay, well, I'm going to die first. And I'm so I'll be the one to get things ready for y'all. I'll let you know if I can contact you from where I'm going, I will. Just look out for it or something. You know what I mean? Literally, I like that. It's actually, to me, is a healthy way of processing. And I used to, when I was a kid, I would volunteer for a hospice program, specifically within HIV/AIDS stuff. And I remember just getting that casualness with the idea that death is a reality of life, that death is something that happens in life, and that it doesn't necessarily have to be always sad, that you can actually communicate it about in a real way that is based in health and science and reality and all of those things. And I would hope to be in that place, to be able to have that conversation with a friend,
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, as we'll see a little bit further on with Rue, her story, it took a turn and went somewhere where I didn't think it was going to go.
Which most Rue stories do.
Sure. It was, it got pretty wild for me.
Yeah.
So she said, if there's any way, get me a message. And then Rue says that in that moment, for some reason, she thought back to the science experiments that they used to do as kids. And she was like, okay, let's do something like that, like electricity. Can you use electricity in some way? And then she was like, this just made sense for him because he was imaginative and playful.
And we'll see what happens with that electricity after this break. Ooh, cliffhanger. Ooh, what's going to happen? I don't know. Drama.
So after Rue has said, use electricity, Rill squeezed her hand. And she's like, because he was at a point where he wasn't able to speak anymore. He was kind of in and out of consciousness. And so he squeezed her hand and she's like, I knew that he understood. So then Rue said the night that Rill passed away, he was at his mother's house and she was there with their friend Christina. And after he passed away, Christina stayed for a while. Then she left. Then it was just Rue and Rill's mom. And they went into the kitchen. And then Rue will describe what happens next. This one's going to give you the goosebumpies.
Oh, the goosey bumpies.
We ended up in the kitchen at about the same moment, and she turned on the recessed lights. There were 9 bulbs in that recessed light, big bulbs. They went on and then out like that. And she said, that never happens. They burn out one at a time. I replaced them, but they never all go out at once. Well, I didn't tell her about his promise to me to contact me electrically because I thought it was some kind of coincidence.
That would actually scare me. That would
The
actually
sound effects.
I know.
I was like,
the editing on this is actually kind of perfect. Like this show.
Yeah.
Like, it's quality. Even though it's basic, it's quality. No, if all of the lights like went out at once like that, it would actually scare me.
It's funny also how I was surprised at how much recessed lighting was mentioned in this 9-minute segment of Celebrity Ghost Story, because this is not the last mention of recessed lighting.
No.
Yeah, that would scare the crap out of me.
Do you think? But here's the thing. I was thinking about that. Like, if all of these lights that I have in this room went out at once, I think I would not immediately jump to, that's weird. I think I would immediately be like, oh, there's a problem with something. Like, there's a rational, explainable problem that can fix whatever is happening around me, you know?
Well, what I'm guessing is that there were lights on in other rooms and it was just the recessed lights in the kitchen that went out. Like, I don't know that I'd necessarily think like, oh, I tripped a breaker or something by like turning the lights on. Especially if all the bulbs went out, and she said that's weird because like they'll go out one at a time. It's not like they're Christmas bulbs where one goes out, they all go out.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have freaked me out. So for Rue, you know, you could like shrug that off as a coincidence. You could be like, okay, that was a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
Except that same night, and this is like, it's so funny. This feels like such a Rue McClanahan thing. Rue went to the computer to write Christina an email because, like, I'm assuming it was too late to call her.
Yeah.
So she wanted to she wrote her an email asking her how she was doing. And as soon as Rue started typing in Rill's name and talking about Rill, she said the computer like short circuited. It was like basically almost like playing like TV
Like,
static.
Yeah. Which that
she
would
was
scare
like,
me.
That would scare me. That's why I'm saying,
Yeah,
like,
because, like,
Friends don't. That's scary.
Oh no, I don't think that's scary. But like, I don't
But
think
she
it's scary
asked
that
for
Friends. But yeah, she asked for it. But what's scary is like when something does something it's not supposed to do. Like a computer having like the TV static thing.
TV static.
That's not normal. That is like the girl from The Ring is about to climb out of the computer situation.
Poltergeist. They're here.
I love Poltergeist. Go into the light, Carol Ann. This house is clean.
There were too many tragedies associated with that movie. There were too many people in that movie that died in horrific ways.
But that movie is
That was a
good.
haunted movie.
That movie is good. That is a good one.
It's
Highly
iconic.
recommend. And
Just read about it sometime. It is devastating.
It is devastating.
Okay, so all right, so then Rue was like, "All right, this is wild." So the next day, so she put the computer away.
When you said this is wild, it reminded me of Drunk History, where like it has Rue's mouth being like, "This is wild," but it's like your voice. Like in my head, that's what I was picturing.
This is wild.
Oh, that would be good.
So the next day, she called Christina, and
Christina.
yeah, oh yeah, that's from Mommy Dearest. Yeah. I have a story about Christina and Mommy Dearest to tell you offline. Maybe I'll tell it during the Rusty Anchor happy hour. I'm not going to say it on the main.
It is Pride.
Yeah, no, yes, it is. It has nothing to. It's a very personal story. I don't know if I'm going to tell it.
Go on,
so
real.
I know you're like, you have a story about Mommy Dearest. Okay. So she connected with Christina, and Christina was like, "Hey, last night I also went into my kitchen, and where I had recessed lighting, everybody had recessed lighting. I mean,
what is
people still
recessed
do.
lighting?
It's where you have like
where it's in the ceiling.
It's in the ceiling.
Oh, I see.
And it's like a series of bulbs.
Yeah, I don't have that here.
But we do, and we have there's 3 of them. But you know what though? They are all connected because when I turn the lights on, I don't turn them on individually. They are all connected to one.
So maybe there's a rational explanation for what happened.
There could be a lot of coincidences though. So Rill's mom had 9 bulbs. Christina had 20 recessed light bulbs in her
Wow.
kitchen.
These people
They
had
all
money.
went out at the same time. I know, that's a big kitchen. I'm
That's a
like,
lot of
I
them.
have 4 like across my, I have 3 across my living room.
Oh.
She said they all went out at the same time. And in this moment, Rue is like, all right, I got to tell Christina about the promise that me and Rill made. And when Rue,
Now's the time. I've been dreading this for years. I gotta talk.
when Rue tried to tell Christina, she said, so I made this pact with Rill. All of a sudden the phone went like, and it like short circuited just like the computer. So then Rue was like, all right, Christina, you got to come over so I can tell you this in person.
How did she tell her it?
In person. She's like, I can't tell you over the phone. Rill is fucking with her. He's like, this is what you wanted. Every time you ask my name, I'm going to buzz you.
You asked for it, Rue.
I know.
God,
I know. And that's why I'm going to tell my friend Matt, happy birthday, buddy. If you're listening or just don't fuck with my electricity, please. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I'm trying to figure
Visit
out how
me in a dream and give me a hug, buddy.
I need to figure out how I'm going to haunt you.
Well, okay. Yeah, we'll think about it. Don't think of it as a haunting. Think of it as like a hello. Don't use the word, how am I going to haunt you?
A haunting hello.
Yeah, it's got to be a hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have another clip where this is where
This is where shit gets crazy.
This is where shit hits the fan.
This is
I was
Unsolved
like,
Mysteries level. What the fuck is Robert Stack talking about?
When the thing happened that's about to happen in this clip,
Why?
I literally said out loud at my computer, I said, oh my.
Yes, me too. I literally got up because I was like, I don't know where this is going. And I was watching it. I got up from the computer and I went over to the kitchen to get something. I don't know, probably a snack. And I see what's going on. And I literally turned back being like, oh, Rue. And it was just like, and also what made me kind of angry is at this point in 2009, Rue, Emmy award-winning actress, Broadway, film, television. She's done it all. And Rue's playing modern day Rue here. This is not an old story of Rue McClanahan. This is modern day Rue, happened just a few years ago. Why is Rue not playing Rue?
I don't know.
Like in these act outs, I wanted Rue.
I don't know, because they just got her for the interview. They probably never, ever, ever do the reenactments. Excuse me, I'm so tired. I was like, I don't know. I think my body was just exhaling from all of the adrenaline I felt after thinking about this clip that we're about to play.
Yeah, well, should we just play it?
Let's just play it. It is
crazy.
batshit.
This is one you should watch. Okay, playing it.
It was about a week and a half after he'd died. I was in his room, and I was clearing out things he'd kept. I was feeling nostalgic. Oh, here I have my hands on his things. And I just looked up over my shoulder into the living room. And he was there, sitting there, grinning, a great big grin at me. Except for being in the wheelchair, he looked like he looked for years. He didn't look sick. And he said, hey, it's no big deal. Hey, it's no big deal.
Hey, it's no big deal.
I shit my pants. He's just there.
He's just there, and she's not freaked out. She's not scared. And to her, him saying, hey, it's no big deal, she's just like, oh, real?
It's no big deal. I mean, look.
Rue, it's a big deal.
You know what though? If he was gonna say something to her, I think something like that, and look, I'm okay. Feels a little cliche, and it feels like real. If you're best friends with Rue McClanahan,
yeah,
you're not cliche.
No.
And so I think for him to say it's no big deal, it was the equivalent of like, I'm good, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But he was doing it in his playful way. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I was in the room and I turned around and my dead friend was just like hanging out there,
Hanging out?
I would definitely that would scare me. That would scare
Still
me.
making sure
Making sure that
I'm alone.
Matt's not around.
When Stan comes downstairs, I'm gonna jump out of my chair. Stan is gonna sneak down here for something, and I'm gonna poop my pants.
Wow. No, that would if someone wasn't there, if someone was there who was dead, that would terrify me. I would definitely. You know, my grandpa, when we first moved into the house that my family now lives in, and literally within like the first month of us moving in, my grandpa who was sick with cancer, had took a turn and he died. And my mom, in his last few days, my mom, who was previously a nurse, we decided to have him come to the house and have his last days at the house so that my mom could take care of him when he died. And I just kept thinking, like, we've been in this house 3 weeks and there's already going to be a dead body in it. Like, what is going on? This house is going to be haunted, and the real estate's going to go down. Like, the value of this home is going to go down real quick.
And how old were you when you were thinking of
I
this?
was a teenager. I was like,
okay.
I was in high school at that point. And, but I was definitely a little like, this is not a good idea, people. This is a bad idea. We're going to have a ghost in this brand new house. And then, like, they're going to really get everything because, you know, a ghost moving into a newly built home, that's good real estate.
Yeah.
Like, getting in early on the goodness. Like, I feel like most ghosts die in like an old home and it's like all cold and dusty and like,
yeah, you wouldn't
bad.
suspect
No.
a ghost in a new home.
No. And so, yeah. So, I mean, but my grandpa Joe I don't believe he's in that house. I don't. Although no one sleeps. No one goes into the room that he died in.
Really?
I mean, it's my mom's sewing room, which is universally known for, you know, shit that junk goes in. And yeah, no one sleeps in it.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
well,
just saying.
I mean, maybe she had an experience and was like, this is the sewing room now.
The shutters just go boom, boom, boom on their own.
Should ask her.
Yeah, I should. My mom believes in that stuff. I don't. Yeah.
Sure. Maybe, like you said, though, you're open-minded.
I am open to it.
I enjoyed that Real gave Rue comfort, you know?
Yes.
And
yes.
she said for her, when he said it's no big deal, she was like, she took that as he was saying, hey, me passing away, it's like a blip. It's a minor change. It's not that big of a deal. And it was very comforting for her. And
which is
then
like all you really like, and that's kind of what I feel about psychics or about like the Long Island Medium, like that show. People sometimes be like, it's not real, she's faking it, all those things. And for me, if communicating with someone like a Long Island Medium or someone who says that they can talk to the dead brings you comfort, brings you closure, doesn't bring you more hurt or harm, doesn't hurt you emotionally in any way. If anything, it helps you move on with your life because you are living. I think by all means, God bless. Go do it. Have fun. Like
if you're not scamming people.
Exactly. Yes. I think it's great. And I think it's helpful. And I think it's just another form of therapy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also agree. Well, I know you had another clip that you wanted to play.
Only because, and this is a visual thing, this clip is not going to make total sense. Well, it will a little bit, but total sense for people listening. But Rue's last few seconds, she gives a look in the last few seconds of her interview that is terrifying. And it actually is like straight out of a horror movie to me. Do
you have the line? I have the last line that she says.
Yes, I have the last line.
Do you have the whole thing?
Yeah,
okay.
I have. I'm pretty sure it's the whole thing. But I'll just play it. And
okay.
It's scary, but campy too. It's weird.
So it's hard not to believe in an afterlife after that.
Oh my God!
You should have given people a heads up about that sound effect of that
if they've made it this far, they know a spook's around the corner. Oh my God. It was so scary. Why wasn't Rue McClanahan ever in a horror movie? Maybe she was.
Oh,
I don't know.
Man.
But
she would have been great in a horror movie.
She would have been great. That look she gave at the end was just like, not menacing, but sort of just like, could be real. You know what I mean? Like very Paranormal Activity.
I mean, the music, yeah. I feel like I would have loved to have seen Rue in a horror movie where she's like the wise elder, the person who tells the young people who are fleeing for their lives. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, this town's always had a little something evil going on in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
There's blood running through these streets.
yeah.
The McClanahan family, you know, like that kind of thing. I don't
Wow.
know.
You're really getting into character there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good. I highly recommend. I mean, we'll put the link to this because there's a full, really good YouTube compilation of all of them. But we'll put the link in the show notes so you can watch this. It's good. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's good. I may go back and watch like John Waters and Carrie Fisher. I want to see who has like the wildest story in the episode.
I bet Kerri's is like insane, actually. Like, I bet it's insane. Wait, so we should, like, what if one of us dies first?
Should we do these as our golden takeaway?
Okay, yeah, we'll just save it as golden takeaway. I like that idea. Okay, we'll be
Okay,
right back
great.
with our golden takeaway. Talking about our deaths. And we are back with our golden takeaway, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your lives or the lives of our listeners. Kerri just may have experienced a ghost activity during the break. We're not, no joke. I was writing down the time, as I am known to do because I'm keeping track of those things. And Kerri was like, "Babe, are you down here?" talking to Stan. And I thought I thought you were just playing with me. I literally, well, let's just play. You know what? Let's just play the clip right here. Right here. We're going to play that clip.
Fine.
Oh my God. Oh my
I thought
God.
He came down.
Oh my God, Kerri.
Babe, are you down here?
Are you doing this for the video? Are you doing this for the video? Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I thought he came down and went into the kitchen.
Oh my God. We're using this as a clip.
No, because it's not going to make any sense.
Yes, it will.
Out of context.
Yes, it will.
Did you just say yes, it will? Oh my gosh.
Yes, it will. Okay, should we come back? I'll bring it back. Okay.
Yeah.
I literally thought you were just playing with me, but
He's
you weren't.
not down here. I don't know. I thought I heard him come down and go into right in front of me and go into the kitchen.
Wow.
I thought maybe he was down here, but he's not.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I said no hauntings.
Okay. So I've been thinking a lot during the episode, like if one of us, do we have to do the same thing or do we each do our own thing? Like if I die first.
No, we each do our own thing.
Okay. So you want to go, do you have one?
Yes. So if, again, it has to be parameters. It can't just be like mess with the electricity, like something that, it's got to be something that like you'd never see otherwise. I will come to you in the form of a woman dressed like a hot dog.
I was thinking hot dogs. That's so funny. That is so creepy. I was actually thinking hot dogs. I was like, it's going to be a hot dog thing, and I know it.
All right. Well, maybe both of them have to be hot dogs. I will be dressed as
no, not for me. I was thinking you were going to come up with a hot dog thing for me.
Yes.
Like I thought yours was going to be hot dog related.
I'm going to be a woman dressed as a hot dog, but I'm going to have 2 eaglets perched on my shoulders.
Brother.
Not real ones. They're going to be stuffed.
Okay.
A woman dressed as a hot dog with 2 stuffed eaglets.
Okay.
So there is no way you will ever be like, well, that's a coincidence.
Wow.
It will be me.
Wow. Mine's not as dramatic. Mine's pretty real. I know neither of us, we do a podcast about the Golden Girls, but neither of us particularly enjoy cheesecake. It is not something that we necessarily gravitate towards in terms of a dessert thing. Am I right?
I like cheesecake. It's not my number 1 dessert, but I like it.
Exactly. So
I like it fine.
So whenever you are offered a banana cheesecake or a banana cheesecake comes up in your world in some capacity, something banana cheesecake-y random comes up. I don't know why, because I love a banana dessert. I don't like a cheesecake dessert, and a banana cheesecake dessert sounds disgusting to me.
Got it.
If you are ever anything with banana cheesecake, that is a sign that I am coming to torment your insides.
Okay.
That's
All right. Well, that's a great golden takeaway.
I will give you diarrhea. Whenever you have
Great.
diarrhea after I'm gone, that's me saying, ha ha.
No, well, see, that's a coincidence. Banana
that's
cheesecake, still
if
a
you
little bit of a
get diarrhea
coincidence,
from a banana
but from
cheesecake.
banana cheesecake, okay.
No, because banana cheesecake is very specific. When have you ever been offered banana cheesecake?
Never
Exactly. But
that I
after
can recall.
after I'm dead, I will come back in the form of banana cheesecake.
Banana cheesecake. All right,
Lick-
banana cheesecake and
lick
hot
me
dogs
up,
and
baby.
eaglets. All
Wow.
right.
Wow.
Well, I'm curious for anybody who's listening, drop us a comment on Patreon or on Instagram and let us know if you have any
Oh yeah,
weird
let's share ghost stories.
haunting stories. Share your ghost stories with us.
God, I would love that. I do love a good ghost story, even though I don't believe. I'm open.
You're open.
I'm open, and I want to hear all the stories.
Yep.
Oh my
So
God.
tell us all your ghost stories. And this has been another episode of Out on the Lanai. And we will catch you back here very soon for more Golden Girls greatness. And remember that you can join the GGVIP club at patreon.com/Golden Girls podcast. We do weekly bonus episodes, interviews with cast, crew, writers of the Golden Girls, monthly live watch along parties. So much great stuff. You can sign up for free, and you do get some cool stuff at the free tier, but you do get the most at $5 and $8 a month.
So fun. And we are a part of Mom Moguls of Media, so go subscribe to the Mommy Plus. And also you can find us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, Out on the Lanai Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook, and I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines on everything.
And I'm Squidsy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. And if you want to do something else nice for the podcast, you can leave us a little rating and review because it helps more people discover this podcast and join our lovely community of kick-ass Golden Girls fans.
And remember,
as always,
stay golden. Boo.
Don't.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.